on this computer. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, well, welcome to the Go for Diamond webinar. And tonight is actually an important call and is really we're gearing up to take an offense approach to our business. As you know, Max made an announcement of a promotion, which is one that we're familiar with Get 5, 500 CV by personal sponsoring, and they will add another $50 over and above the Prime 1 qualification and everything else, and we'll talk about that because it really marries very, very well with what we're about to embark starting on March 8th. Now,
March 1st.
No, March 8th, which is basically, I know what you mean, but March 8th is when we're starting the actual presentation, and we're going to explain to you exactly what is going on here. And also this evening we'll be hearing from Paul Tesseyman, Jasmine, and Lucie, which Paul will be covering the topic on your story. And I know Paul did really great work on that, and I wanted him to share with you what he's done, and he's also going to share his story. Jasmine is going to touch on the aspect of the third-party credibility and the importance of creating the vision and sharing the impact, and I'll let Jasmine kind of use that in her own words. And Lucie will cover some of the topic of organization on how she's organizing herself. Lucie is probably one of the most organized person I've ever met in my life. Mm-hmm. I can ask about anything, even like 10 years ago, and she'll have it in some directory somewhere stored. And these are powerful skills. So these three leaders, I wanted them to share with you, and all of this is to prepare you for, again, taking an offense approach to your business. There's a lot of great things that's coming, seriously, with Max. The back office is starting to look great, and there's also, Joe is really eager to start implementing, I'm trying to find the right English here, the easiness of. That's not the right wording, but
Simplicity.
Go ahead.
Simplicity?
To simplify the enrollment of a new associate utilizing social media. Instead of going through a tax audit and enrolling someone, we can simply click one button, done. The person is enrolled. Or I should say the person the product is ordered and it's shipped to their house, just like you would do an Amazon order. Or if someone decides to become an associate. So they're working on that diligently. There's a lot of great stuff that's coming in. What we want to do is we want to prepare you to start taking an offense approach to building your business. And what we want to talk about here tonight is to prepare for that. But what I recommend is don't wait on March 8th to start doing the activities. I really recommend that you follow the activities that many of you already know. Tammy will touch on it. But as of March 8th till April 3rd, we're going to be doing presentations every single day. Here's how it's going to work. On Monday night, starting for the next Go for Diamond webinar, it will be a Go for Diamond webinar Max presentation, okay? And this is going to be live. It's going to be presented by the four of us. And then if this goes really well,
a virtual opportunity meeting for you to bring your prospects.
Yeah, if this goes very well, then obviously, in fact, I know it's going to go well. I mean, this is how we build our business. And then we can do some rotations. But here's what's really exciting. As you know, I'm very fond of our technology, and I've been using a software that's called Webinar Jam. Some of you might be aware of it, some of you maybe not. So what we do is the call that's going to be done on Monday will be recorded. And from that point on, it's going to be playing 3 times a day. 1 o'clock, 7:30, and 9:30 for the Pacific time. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is a day off, okay? And then Monday, following Monday, we do another presentation live. It'll be live again. So it will overwrite the one that we did last week, and I'll replace the new video, and then all week, that's the video that's going to be played. And the reason why I want to use that system is because it simulates as if the webinar is live. So if you have guests all week, you just set them to one of those webinars. It's professional. When they register, they get an email notification that the webinar is about to get started. So it has a really nice approach, okay? And it's really important that you all utilize that. I'm telling you, those of you who takes an active role in doing this, you will see improvement. I guarantee you, you will. And this could be merged, because in the presentation, I added a slide just when we're done explaining the packages with the promotion, which get 5 and get an extra $50. And I'll share with you the details on that in a moment. We'll cross that bridge when we're there. Again, so we'll do this intensively from March 8th until April 3rd. And on Monday, you go to the Active Team webinar, this one here, just like the Go for Diamond webinars that we do. The rest of the week, it's going to be maxpays.com. If you try it now, you'll get a feel for what it looks like, but it is Tammy and I, okay? But this week, I'm going to prepare this with the picture of the speakers, and the moment the webinar is completed on next Monday, instead of uploading the call, which I would do on our training channels, it's simply going to be the actual video that's going to replace the current one that's on the maxpays.com.
So you're going to send this out through an email so that they have.
Oh yeah, it's
structure?
going to be very clear, very clear, and everything is going to be there very clearly. Okay, and in fact, let me share my screen very quickly here so you get a better feel for the calendar. So for example, on the 8th is live, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is going to be simulated. Now, even though it's not live, for your guest, it's going to look like it's live, and it even simulate as if there's people in the room. It's very
powerful.
A lot of big players like Anthony Robbins and other speakers, Dean Graziosi, and others, right? They use this tool, and it's powerful, very powerful, because it simulates the real deal. And that puts your business on autopilot, right? And then after that, the 15th, same thing. It's a new webinar, and then it's going to be replaced. And then when you go to maxpays.com, then it's going to be available via the 22nd, the 29th, all the way up to April 4th, okay? So in this case, what I'd like to do at this point, Tammy, was there anything else you want to add before I pass it on to these guys?
It's all good.
Okay.
Is it clear, everybody? Just put a thumbs up with the little reaction button on the bottom.
Actually, I want you guys to use the reaction button.
The reaction.
I did that with the Philippine yesterday. It was awesome to see all these
There
little
we go.
thumbs coming up.
Everybody's doing it.
It's so cool. Look at that.
Awesome.
I love it. Okay, so, and also if you have any comments, any questions, any feedback while the call is taking place, please do feel free to share. That will be certainly welcome. We can address them as we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, at this point, I know that everybody knows Mr. Paul Tesseyman. I've asked Paul to share his experience with some of the classes that Tammy and I and Paul, and actually Sylvie is also part of this, and we spent 16 hours learning how to do I forgot the word that he used, but it's an amazing presentation, the perfect presentation, I believe it's called. And within these trainings, there was a segment that was very highly concentrated on your story. And I know Paul is very diligent with his story, and I asked him to share his points and his experience, and also finishing with his story. So Paul, Goal Associate, I'd like for you to go ahead and share, so please take the floor.
Thank you, Chris. You can hear me okay, right? No problem.
Loud and clear.
Okay, I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, everybody, so please take notes, because what I'm going to do is talk about the story, your story, and you're going to need this information to do your story, because there's a call to action at the end. So please take notes on this, because a short pencil is better than a long memory. Okay, thank you, Chris. Communication. I've already said this many times. Communication in this business is critical. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to be talking about the fundamental piece of your business communication called your story. A story told in less than 2 minutes. I mean, if you go over by a second or so, that's great, but basically 2 minutes or less. This is your testimony on the product and your testimony on the opportunity. And here's a cliche you've heard over and over again, but I'm going to mention it. It's very valid, and that's facts tell, stories sell. And stories capture people's imagination hugely. We connect to people's heart through emotion, through stories, which has emotion in it. We can then build trust through the story. And building trust first is paramount when you do your story. They've got to trust you. They don't have to trust you, but it'd be nice if they did trust you. It's paramount because belief will then follow. Belief in you, belief in the product, belief in the opportunity, belief in everything you say in your story from then on, if they trust you. So once you create your story, which by the way should be as soon as possible, because once you feel comfortable doing this story, we can talk about that shortly. Once you create your story will become your business card or your calling card for your business en masse. That's how important it is. If you want to be successful in network marketing, please understand one principle. And that one principle is we are storytellers. That's how we get people into the business, get them as customers. We are storytellers. And we can be very well paid storytellers if we do the business. This business works if you work the business. So we can be very, very well paid. It's important you decide to become good at telling stories, it really is, and not reciting facts. Once created, your story will become your most powerful tool in your toolbox in building this business. People will listen to stories when they won't listen to reason. They will listen to stories when they won't listen to facts. So let's talk about your story. There are 4 elements or 4 phases to the story when you tell your story. Number 1, it's your background. Background is basically what you do. And if you're a stay-at-home mother, you are a stay-at-home mother, the most important profession in the world. So use that as your background. And this is to connect to people, your background. Number 2, what were some of the things you didn't like about your background? This is also a connection. So this could be, for example, you could use any profession, but let's say teacher. The person loves to teach. However, it was very political at the school. There's a lot of backstabbing. That happens in some schools. No matter how good they became, they didn't get a pay raise. They put in a lot of hours, volunteer hours, and they didn't get any additional income for that. So, there's no time spent at home because they were so busy marking papers and things like that. So those are some of the things that that particular profession may have in regards to things they didn't like in their background. Number 3 is found a solution. Now, this is called the pivot. It's a pivot where things change for you 180 degrees. You found a solution. You found a way to impact your health or improve your health. You found a way to make more money. You found a way to impact people's lives, to have a purpose. That's a solution. And number 4, the last one, is how you feel about the future. So now when I wake up, I have purpose. I am now in control of my life and my destiny. I now see the light. I'm going to make more money. I have a purpose in life. I have less stress. I have direction. I have now a plan for the future. These are the things in how you feel about the future, right? So here's a question for you, and I just want you to answer it by yourself. I'm not going to ask you to put it in the comment section. But out of these 4 elements, your background, what are some of the things you don't like about your background? That's number 2. I found a solution. That's number 3. And how you feel about the future. Which one of those 4 elements is the most important? Number 1, number 2, or number 3, or number 4? And a lot of people don't really get the right answer, but it's number 2. It's the pain that a person feels, either physical pain, they have health issues, diseases, or they have financial issues, the pain. And when you become vulnerable and share that pain with people, basically strangers, and talk about your pain, you show your authentic self and you become vulnerable. People will be willing to listen to the rest of your story because it becomes an emotional, heartfelt situation. And people love to hear that from people. So keep that in mind when you're doing your story. It's the emotion at the beginning with a story, with some information added, and then there's emotion at the end of the story. So it's a story of emotion and heart pulled strings, if you like, heartfelt, and that will become heartfelt by the people who are listening. This is where trust is built. Trust is built here, and the audience begins to trust you, and then the belief in you and what you say will follow. But what you have to do is build trust. And that's very important. An important point to remember is when you get to your solution, lean in. This is from an Eric Worre training, because as you lean in to the screen or lean in across the coffee table, when we get to that stage, people are going to lean in also. So it's kind of cool. And you pick up the pace in your voice. You pick up the volume when you get into the solution aspect. You pick up the volume and your voice goes up an octave at the end of the sentence. And I'll give you a demonstration as I'm doing my story. So just a final few points to mention before I finish with my story. The key for success in this business, in this company, is every day to share daily. Number one, information. Information on the product, information on the opportunity. We lead with both, not with one or the other. No matter what you think, do not lead with one. You lead with both. Don't make up their minds for them by not leading with something. Lead with both, no matter what you think. And we lead with the products. Get the products in people's hands. That is so important. Have your 2-minute story ready. And we'll talk about that in a few seconds here. The 2-minute story is going to be a great tool. You share your enthusiasm. You share your passion. You share your gratitude. These are the things you share with people, those 4 things. The call to action that I mentioned at the beginning for this group is to create that 2-minute story video as soon as possible. Create a 2-minute video story as soon as possible. I won't tell you how long it took me to do my first video. Oh my God, it took hours. But you know what? I didn't do it correctly because I was looking for perfection. You don't want perfection, okay? So we'll come back to that point in a minute here. This will become a powerful tool, your story, that you can send to people. And so things to keep in mind. This will, don't mention the company when you do your story. Do not mention the company that you're with. There are reasons for all this. Don't mention the product by name. Don't mention diseases by name. And don't say it treats, cures, or prevents. Those are things that we teach in every country around the world. Some are easier than others. Don't show the product. Don't have a table of all the product out there. Have good lighting, have good audio, talk to the audience. If you're face-to-face, you maintain eye contact. If you're not face-to-face and you're on Zoom, you look at that little light right there. You're looking into their eyes. That's perfect. And you probably won't create a perfect story on your first attempt. Oh my God, I did not. And it went on and on. So don't seek perfection. As Eric Worre says, your story, your first story, is going to be messy. Accept messy. It's good enough. No one else knows that it's messy, just you. It doesn't matter. Now, if it's really messy, you're going to have to do it again. And if it's over 2 minutes by 10 or 15, 20 seconds, you should do it again. And if your light goes out, you don't have the audio, you got to do it again. But other than that, do your story and accept imperfections. It doesn't matter. It will be changed again soon anyhow. I changed my story 3 times in one day on Wednesday last week. 3 times. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. We had breaks and I was working on my story. So that is what you should be doing. And most of the information you need to make your story, to build your story, I just gave to you. If you need to get more information, I can give it to you again at the end of this, or I can send it to you, what have you. So I'm going to time myself, and I am now going to do my story, okay, with all the information and points that I brought out. Make sense? Okay, and it's not going to be perfect. I want you to realize that. All right. Paul Tesseyman with you. My background as a pilot has been comprised of back pain and pain throughout my body since the age of 30. The pain was caused by being a commercial pilot and military jet pilot, pulling G every day, flying search and rescue and heavy lift transport around the world. Days became nights. Time zones flew by. It was the same as working double shifts and night shifts. Not on my feet, but sitting down, hour upon hour, day after day. I remember an incident. I was carrying my luggage into my aircraft, and I had 25 crew to go on a 2-week global world tour in my aircraft, and my body was literally in the shape of the letter S. I was in painkillers, I was on muscle relaxants, I was diagnosed with a herniated slip disc. My back, I had a back operation scheduled, and due to my schedule, I didn't eat properly. I ate junk food, fast food, eating late at night, and this resulted in high blood sugar levels being diagnosed. And then that wasn't enough. As you reach the beautiful ages of 40s, 50s, and beyond, I had mental clarity and focus issues. And then I was introduced to a product that turned my complete health around, the pivot. And once I started taking these products, I took my health into my own hands. And my aches and pains disappeared. My mental clarity and focus improved. And I weaned myself off all medication, and my back operation was canceled. And the future is bright because of these products and opportunity. As a retired pilot, I'm doing this business full time, and I now have more time freedom. I'm supplementing my retirement income, resulting in financial freedom. I'm still seeing the world as I'm changing my lifestyle for the better with the income I'm generating in this company by simply helping other people. I'm not controlled by a clock. I start and finish my day when I want, and I'm not just surviving my life with a retirement income, I'm living my life with a residual income. And if you want improved health now and for the future as you age, and at the same time change your lifestyle, this science-based product and financial opportunity is for you. Now, I went over by about 10 seconds on that, okay? So I can cut a few things out. My name is Paul Tesseyman. See you at the top. There are 2 changes or 2 closings. This was a face-to-face to an audience or one-on-one. The science-based product and final opportunities for you. But if you're doing it on a video, and the video is going to be given out to people, then what you would say is, get back to the person that sent you this video and ask them for more information, and then get involved. So you have 2 closings there. One's a call to action. If it's a video that you're sending out to people, including your associates, and they use it, you say, get back to the person that sent you this video. If there's any questions on that, we can take it later on, because I know we've got a couple of more speakers left. But that's it. Thanks very much. Chris, back to you.
Hey guys, let's clap for Paul here. At one point, Paul, we lost you. Your notes were covering you.
Oh, okay, probably. Yeah.
But you know what? It was wonderful. It was actually wonderful, and I really appreciate you sharing. And you know, Tammy. Sorry, Paul.
I said it was 4 times that I changed that, so I hadn't got it memorized then. I had to make sure I took certain words out. And that you know what? That's exactly what it's all about. And Tammy, you wanted to share something?
No, it was great. You put a lot of effort into that. I know that, Paul. And I just have a question, because I kind of got stuck on this S. What does S stand for?
Oh, well, the S, the letter S. That was my back. My back looked like the letter S.
Yeah.
My shoulders were here. My hips were over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, folks, thank you, Paul, for this. And folks, what I wanted to also very emphasize on what Paul was sharing, it's really interesting. As we were listening to, you know, there was some kind of a contest, right? And as people were sharing their story, they were being voted in, and at the end of the day, they presented the stories that were voted by the general public within the different groups. And what's really interesting is it's not the best speakers that were nominated. It was the speakers that was actually connecting with the audience.
True.
And generally, it has something to do with children or family. These were the most common denominator among the stories that were selected by the crowd. So it's just to give you an idea and Paul is dead on. It's not about trying to be perfect and having it perfect. People don't know you. They don't know what's perfect and what's not perfect. You do, but they don't. But the way you reach out to them, how you connect with them, this is what's going to get them to want to speak with you, to get more information that might be obviously relevant to the Max opportunity or the products that Max has to share. And often what happens is most people completely suppresses the idea of sharing their story because they're not in a habit of doing so, and they go right into the meat and potatoes and start sharing the information without creating that relationship. And a story is critical. Some of you have a story that will just probably pull tears in people's eyes. But maybe you've never worked on your story. Maybe there's some things that, I'll be honest, it's not easy to be transparent. It is hard, especially in today's society.
Yeah, I remember, Chris, when we first started with Max, we were very emotional. I mean, our life had literally turned upside down in a short period of time, and there was a lot of emotion there. So, silently suffering. That was Chris and I when we first started with Max. And I kept telling Chris, when we got involved in Max, I said, people need to hear our story because so many people can relate to the struggle of finances, getting over your head in debt. And people are trying to find a way to swim out of it, to get out of it. So when we started doing campaigns, and Chris, did some Facebook ads, we did a very, very short video. How many seconds was it?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. It was super.
Actually, no. It was just 59 seconds. That's right.
Okay, and we were on our balcony, and we were talking about struggle and where we came from and how everything had turned around because we finally found something that had made an impact in our lives. Well, one of the person that's on this platform right now, and she's wanting to create her story, Linda Wyatt, she came from that Facebook ad. And it's interesting because yesterday when we were chatting, Linda, you were saying normally you listen to these ads and you just brush them off because they're all, out there. And she says there was something about you guys that you guys were very sincere, and I could feel it. Imagine if you start opening up and people connecting to the struggle and the challenges and knowing that it's real. They want to know what you do. And that's exactly what happened. Linda and I built a relationship. She got on the product, and now she's in the business and on this call tonight.
And I remember when we did a training on Sunday morning, right? She brought this back again. And that's exactly what Tammy talked about. So before I get Jasmine, our next speaker, to share, one thing, folks, the reason we're doing all of this is we're giving you the precursors, if you want to call it that, for you to be able to start attracting people towards you.
Yeah.
Okay, so they can build an interest. I'm telling you, your voice matters. Your voice is important. And you need to be heard. People need to hear you. And you'd be amazed on how much of a magnet you could be. But for that, you may have to open up a little bit and kind of let go of the fear and of what others may be thinking. Mm-hmm. Okay? So that's kind of the segment. Now, it's a very small segment on the importance of building your story, but I recommend you go back to the group. It's going to be shared in the private group here, the Canada USA, and listen to this again. Listen to Paul's segment if you want to, and listen to what he talked about when he talked about the 4 components, right? What you did before, what was the pain associated with it, what did you find that was the solution, and how's the future look like? These are the 4 components that you need to process, and you need to keep it within 2 minutes, maximum 2 through 30, but it's even too much. And here's the reality. If you want to use that for social media, like Instagram or even TikTok or others, it's like 15 seconds, 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? So there might be a summary of some of those stories. And once you repeat it often enough, it becomes like breathing air. You don't even have to think about it, and that's when you can shorten it and focus on the elements, which are the meat and potato.
And
okay?
if I can add something, Paul, just of observation. When you have 2 minutes, often you want to just cram a whole bunch of things in there, and the voice speaks. You're speeding up with the voice. When people feel the calmness and say a whole lot less, but mean a whole lot more coming from your heart, and use the body language. When something affected you, put your hand on your heart. I mean, it should be a natural thing, right? But some people have to think about it and use the body expression. And like you said, Paul, went with the pivot, you kind of lean forward, but you don't want to make it too obvious. And it's interesting when you said that, Paul, You brought me back to a moment when you said that. The gentleman who brought Chris and I into our first experience in network marketing, I remember sitting and watching him present. And this man, he did exactly what you said, Paul. In the storytelling, he sat back. Everything was calm on his background and stuff, and then he leaned forward, and I saw every single prospect that he sat and did a one-on-one presentation to lean in to him, and they all signed up, all of them. So it's so important, those 4 critical components with the emotion and the body language.
So if you're getting this from Facebook Live, again, feel free to. It's on the Max Global Diamond. I love your comments, your feedback, and I hope this is helpful. Now, at this point, I'm going to shift, and thank you very much, Paul.
Yes,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
It was
well
fabulous.
done. I'd like to shift over to Jasmine Théberge. Jasmine is a Gold Associate with Max International. She's a very passionate speaker. She's dedicated years of her life in building her Max business, and she's always been very, very passionate about what she believes in. And when I spoke to her, Jasmine, and she was sharing with me some points on how she described her feeling and how people feel when she does a third-party credibility call or validation, I said, this is what we need to hear. Because if you follow the success cycle segment, the third-party credibility, we know it's credible. It's let me rephrase that. It's critical, not credible, critical and credible, but critical as a process to invite someone to look to try the product or to get involved into this business. So Jasmine, take it over. Thank you for joining in. Your sound.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you for allowing me to be here to share. So as you said, Chris, I'm going to be talking about actually something personally that happened to me when I was doing 3-way calls with some team members that I have, and the outcome from that. And just as you touched on, why do we do 3-way calls? I'm not sure if everybody's using them. It's so important. 2 reasons. 1, credibility. 2, support. Remember, this is all for the new prospect that's looking at this business. So credibility in the sense that whether you're a new associate, whether you're bronze, silver, gold, it doesn't matter, right up to a crown. Chris and Tammy are still using 3-way calls as they are approaching new associates and sharing the information. They will call somebody at corporate, they will call somebody that's in the field. And it's so important because no matter what you say, if that is said again and repeated by somebody else, that new prospect is like, oh, wow, this is real. And so credibility that's number 1. Number 2 is support, that they know that they've got support, that this is very different from any other network marketing company out there because the support is real. Lots of people have said, I signed up and I never saw my sponsor again. I signed up and I never had any help. So that's why we do 3-way calls. But we have a responsibility to that prospect. And that responsibility is that during that call, the entire call, yes, we're there to answer their questions, but more so, I'm there to listen to what they have to say and then to create a new future for them. So it's when I'm on these calls, and just in the last few weeks, I did a call. Muriel had a new associate that was coming in, and Daniel Bax had a new associate that actually signed up after the call. And what I did on the call, because I already knew a background, I already had some background information from their sponsor or potential sponsor on what was going on in their life. As I was talking to that prospect, the whole thing during that conversation was imagine what would your life be like if you were earning an extra $2,000 a month or $5,000 US a month or $10,000 US a month or more. Like imagine. And then sometimes they're right away, they know. And sometimes they don't even know if it's real. So I asked them, because I'm listening to them. You know, one of them, for example, was a single mom. She had a hair salon that she, worked out of her home. She had entrepreneurial sense to have her own business at home. And so I said to her, what would it be like? Give me one example. What would you do if in your life, if you had an extra 2,000 US that came in next month? What would you do? and get them to participate. So she would tell me something that she would do. And for her, you know, whether it was something for herself or more so it was for her, it was for her son. It was like something that she wanted to take him to on a trip or take him to go see something. And I said, okay, that's fabulous. That's awesome. And you know, you get enrolled in that, you're participating and really with them in that conversation. And it's like, would anything else change for you? What if it was 5,000? What would change for you if you had 5,000? What would you do for your son if you had an extra 5,000? And get them to imagine, get them to talk about it. And you keep doing that through the whole conversation. With Muriel's new associate, she was a massage therapist, but she had had a really, really bad car accident, knew about Max before, but because now she was in personal pain, it's like, what would it be like for you to wake up and be relieved from this pain? What if this pain was 50% less? What if this pain was, you know, almost all gone? What would it be like if you could share this with other people that you knew that were in pain? Imagine what that would feel like. Imagine what that would feel like when somebody came to you and said, thank you for giving me back my life. Thank you for getting me to the point where I can live again, where I can move, where I'm not just focusing on this chronic pain. And imagine what that would be like if one person or two people or 3 or 5 came to you. And imagine what it would be like that if you're taking them out of that pain at the same time, they may have lost their job, that now you say, guess what? Not only can I offer you a solution to be out of pain, but I can offer you something that you can earn an extra 5 or 6 or 8,000 US a month, whatever you want. It's real, it's there. So get them to start imagining, because both these calls that I did for Daniel and Miriam, their new prospects were so excited by the end. There was hope for them, there was light, but there was real excitement. So I'm really encouraging all of you to, as builders, as leaders in this business, encourage your new prospects or encourage, not your prospects, your associates. And I don't care how long they've been in the business. They could have been in the business for 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, and they're not using and implementing 3-way calls. Even if it feels awkward for them, get them to do 3-way calls, and they will see once the value of it when they see how you connect with people. And like I said, listen to what's going on for them and have them imagine what life would be like, as Paul was saying, to remove that pain and to have this brighter future. So, and then, you know, they probably, by the time that you've done the 3-way call, have watched a video link, and then you ask them, you know, would it be worth 30 minutes of your time to send you some other information or for you to evaluate or assess? And then you send them that, because now, see, by the time we finish these 3-way calls, at the end of those 3-way calls, not only were they signing up as an associate, but they were signing up on Active Team, like we were doing it right together. Go to activeteam.com, you know, or Active Team group, and subscribe. Go on to, if it was a woman, go on to the Strong Max Women Facebook group and subscribe. Go on to the Freedom Formula program that Tammy has. And just, we got them going right away, and they were excited. It wasn't any more, you know, this is your homework, I got to pull you to this, because they imagine their future. Like, yes, of course I'll do this. Of course, you guys have got free training that I can get to the point where I can earn $10,000 US. I'm in. Like, it was so incredible to watch them. And then afterwards, you know, they're now texting me, my product came in today, I'm so excited to try it. I'm thinking of people, I'm making my list. It was just incredible. And like I said, keep getting them to imagine what an amazing future they're going to have. And I told them at the end when I wrapped up, I said, you know what, I'm doing it. I said, I know others that are doing it. You may be a new associate and you're not at that point yet where you were able to change your work schedule or the amount of hours that you work. But I said, I'm doing it. I said, you know, my life, I don't have to work 6 days a week in dentistry. I was a single mom. I don't have to do that anymore. And the other thing is, I sleep peacefully at night. My future is golden. It's bright. There's rainbows. It's just incredible. And so I'm really excited about what my future has in store for me. And you can have the same thing. You could be excited about that too. So then I just say, you know, just imagine, like I said, what would life be like, and just keep bringing them that to that point. And then at the very end, I just share with them that with this Max business, it's a win-win-win. So, because often people will think, yeah, I'm going to get in and you're going to make money off me, or my sponsor's going to make money off me. I give them an example, and I said, you know, when I got started, I didn't know how to do the presentation. Chris and Tammy came to my home. We're now doing it on Zoom, and it's all available for you online on social media. But we used to do in-home presentations. Chris and Tammy came to my home drove from Toronto, you know, an hour to my place, and they had to help me make $1,000. And I did make $1,000 like right away. And for that, they made 150. I said, the same thing with you. We have to help you make $1,000. And for that, Daniel will get 150. Maybe I'll get 75. Guess what? You do that for other people and you help them make 1,000, and that 150 will come in for you over and over and over. That's what we talk about, residual income. And you just get them again, realizing that this is about helping other people, making a difference. And I don't make anything unless you make something. You won't make anything unless you help somebody else make it, so that they see how that whole role is reversed. And then I said, you know, you're offering a solution that could take away their financial stress. You're offering a solution that could take away whatever pain they have. I said, somebody will jump at it. Somebody will jump at it. I said, but you will never know until you ask. You will never know. And then I ask them, are you ready to take the first step to have your dreams come true for you and for your family? And that's it. And that's how they get excited. Imagine, imagine, imagine.
That is
love it.
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Jasmine. Really appreciate your sharing. And again, folks, just again to recap, is now we have the story. Now we've got some examples on the importance of third-party credibility. Critical. So again, these are all the precursors, all the steps for you to be able to prepare for March 8th, which is the beginning, where start inviting for people to come and listen to the presentation live on Friday evening. And remember, the presentations that will be taking place after that, it will be exactly like it was on Monday night. Remember, it captures all the elements. The only difference is it's a recording, but your guests do not know the difference because it simulates a real-time webinar. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're thinking, well, you don't have to wait an entire week every day. You'll be able to, in fact, you'll be more often than 3 times a day. I'll have that predetermined for 3 times a day, but every 15 minutes, you actually will be able to catch it. So it's really designed to simplify the steps to present the information to a prospect. Now, at this point, I'd like to shift over to organizing yourself when it comes to your leads, when it comes to your business. And Lucie Caron is a Platinum Associate with Max International. Lucie had an enormous amount of trainings and experience, let me rephrase that, experience in training her associates in West Africa, specifically Côte d'Ivoire, and obviously in Canada. She's done Nigeria. She's been all over. And we've asked Lucie to come in and share. So please, Lucie, if you want to take the floor and go ahead. Lucie, are you still there? Lucie? Yeah,
Nope, you're on mute.
Yeah.
You're on mute.
There you go.
There we go. Perfect.
You can hear me well? Yes. Okay. So I have been working the last 10 years. I have been working 42 years. And the last 10 years, I was in charge of a project to control the epidemic in 5 West Africa countries. So I had to be organized because in Mali, it is not the same that in Benin, and it's not the same than in Guinea. So I had 5 countries. So each time the people were asking, what is this document? They were coming and I could find the document. I knew where it was. It was well organized. So when we are in business here, so we have to have some methodology to get organized. We don't have lots of time, so I chose 3, and maybe if I have time, I will give you a bonus with 4. The first is to have an agenda. So the new one here, they have an electronic agenda. Good for you. Me, I am still on the old fashioned, but it is very, I know how to use it. It's full. I take my appointment. It's there, and people know that I will be on time, and my time is precious. I tell them, I said, your time is precious, as same as mine. I take an appointment with you. I suppose you will be there because the appointment I have with you, I cannot give it to somebody else. And when they are not there, I give always credit, the benefit of the doubt. Me, I hope you didn't have an accident. I hope everything is good for you, because then they will feel guilty. They missed the appointment. Would you like we take another appointment? But if they miss the second, I said, maybe the business is not so important for you. It is very important for me. Maybe you need more time. So usually people will come and say, no, 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 I'm very interested, because they are afraid they are going to lose something. And what they are going to lose is me. But I always tell them, when ready, I will always be there for you. But meantime, I have so many people in the team. I have over 200 people to look after. So I will go to look for the others, and be sure I will be ready for you. The agenda is important. The second, the contact list. Sometimes the people, they said, give me your contact, and they put their name, and after they don't even remember what is the name of the guy. What is the name of the guy? Me, I recruit many people in Africa, in different countries. So, when we had the group, sometime Anastasia, lately she was registered many people. I always write USA, Anastasia, / and I write the name of the person. So when the person talk or send a message, that's Anastasia from the team of Anastasia. I do the same for Tesseyman, TSS, Tesseyman, Jasmine. If they have associate and they talk, I know whose associate it is. And so me, if I have a prospect, I will write Mali / PROSP and the name. Once every month, I have one day for each country. So I will write Senegal, prospect. They all come in. I send a note to everyone. And I will personalize the note, but very often my message will be ready. I will have a message, I send it to everybody. I don't talk about Max. That is a why we didn't talk about. I hope everything is all right. And maybe it's time to give you an update. Kenya and Uganda, the project are approved. Something is coming. If you're still interested, I am there for you. And not everyone will come back, but some do, because they know somebody there, and they see that I am persistent. And another day I will do the Benin. Another day I will do Mali. And another day we'll do Côte d'Ivoire. And it takes me about 20 minutes, and I have contact 20 to 25 people a day. So those are for my prospect. And when they become my associate, I take off prospect and I put Luc. My name is Lucie. So Luc is my nickname, LUC. So I know they are my associate. So in Côte d'Ivoire, I have a big team there. So before the name of each person, I write RCE, République Côte d'Ivoire, / and I write the name of the sponsor or the team leader. So when they talk in the group, I know who it is. Some of them, I never met them, but I know whose team it is. So for me, I figure out in my head, and it's quite, I find it quite effective. The third thing is, we already talked about it, but you need to create group in your WhatsApp. Me, I work a lot with WhatsApp and Zoom now. Zoom, I love it. So we need to classify your thing. When somebody, you want to send the science of Max, the Max science, where will you find your video? Where? You need to find it in 2 minutes. You need to know where it is. So you create groups. To create a group, you just need to add one person. You title your group. And when the group is created, you take off the other person. This is your group. So each group, it starts by Luc for me. And I write product French, Max product, but FR for French, because everything I have in French and English. So you write EN for English, Max product, Max testimony, product testimony, for business testimony, for the when people give their testimony. They are all classified there. And also I open a group for each country that I work there. So if I have a group for Nigeria, for Ghana, for many countries, Philippines, I start to having some document there. And with the cost of the product, the address of the office. So when you start to recruit somebody in a country that you are not used to, you need to have some document, because then we say, what will I do? See, Les Brown, he said, better to be prepared when you get the opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So what will I do? Sometimes some people in Africa, they said, I contact someone in United States and he said, yes, what should I do? I said, I have been sending you lots of information. You need to collect that somewhere and to create some group and classify all your things. Somebody asked me the document. I sent it in the minute. It saved me lots of time. Lots of time. Our time is precious. When I was working as a project manager, I was paid a good price. Now I work for free, but still my time is precious. Do you understand? Let's go for the bonus. When I have some associate, and sometimes they don't want to do the job. Lucie, I have a doctor. He is very interested. Would you talk to him? I said, you are going to create a trio. I work a lot with that. Trio. All the group are called trio. I said, create a group, because I give them the responsibility. Create a group with you, the doctor, and me. Introduce the doctor and introduce me. Then I will come in. So everything I will say, you will know, and you will be able to follow up. But the doctor is confident in you, not in me. Doesn't know me. I'm the white lady. Some people, they like when the white is talking, but some other, they don't like the white people. So I'm very cautious in my approach. We meet the both. So with the trio, it works so well. It's a bit like a three-way call, but it is written. I send appropriately depending who it is. Like this one, it starts today. For this one, I have it fresh. It is a gynecologist. So I have testimony for gynecologist. I have testimony for some other specificity, particularly for the doctor. So he said, wow, it seemed very interesting. I'm going to have a look at it and come back to you. I said, when? Ask when. Because sometimes the people say, I talked with him, he said he will call me back. I said, you lose the control. You are the one who are going to call back. And when you talk with the person, you always have an appointment. You are the one to control. I am going to call you in 2 days. When in 2 days? Morning, afternoon, or evening? We have 5 hours difference. What time is the best for you? And you need to feel, to talk. You need to show that you know what you are talking about. You need to be precise. You need to be direct. Very often, even Eric Worry, he said, people are waiting for you to tell them what to do. So you need to tell them that time, which time, and because you can teach the people, but better to show them how to do it, doing it with them, and then the WhatsApp group, create a WhatsApp group with your associate, your own team, and get people on active team. There's lots of training there. That's where you will get the people to learn. And because we need to find people who are ready to jump in. So the one who are ready to jump in, they will they will find what they need in active team. So we need to give them the GPS, you know, where to find what you need, and to get all the information to become independent. But being independent doesn't mean that we are not there. We will always be there. And that's what the people say, said, how can you do that? How can you be so present? But because we like that we love that. I have met some people that I would have never met outside of Max. And also this week I will celebrate my birthday. I will be 71 years old. So I mean that if I can do that, you can do too, because it can be a great way for retirement. What would we do? And during the pandemic, I would have depressed. I was not depressed. I was so busy. Calling, contact, because since the last 4 months, I have joined about 12, 13 people. But now we need to put them in action. It's long. It's hard work. But when they start to be action, when they said, okay, my top this month will be senior associate. I said, okay, let's go for senior. So they start with one, and then they will push up and they will go by themselves. But it is hard work. But it is not difficult work. It is something that we get involved, and we come to like the people we work with. And when they call you, just happy that they call you, because that's mean if people call you, that's mean they are working. And I don't call often Tammy, because she know that anyhow she called me or not, I am working. But do your auto ship. I could continue, so it's finished 9 o'clock. Thank you for listening.
Lucie, you were so on a roll. Like, honestly, it was you've covered a lot of great grounds. I was also reading the comments shared by everybody here. I'm really glad that you guys came to this evening to share your insights. And I mean, and again, this is what it is, folks. This is what the business is all about. Starting from your story, utilizing the third-party credibility, and then organizing yourself and understanding the process. I mean, Lucie gives some great tips, utilizing your WhatsApp groups,
Reels,
to create different environments for third-party credibility, for keeping your files organized and everything else. And if you have any questions on that, we can certainly get into more details. I know exactly what Lucie was talking about. So thank you, Lucie. That was phenomenal.
Thank you, all of you. Oh, go ahead, Lucie.
On the Strong Life Woman, I have done some business tips about some of those things. Maybe we could put them available.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah, let's do that.
If we can do that, on the comment section of this video, once it's uploaded on our channel, then I can add these components. You probably noticed, folks, if you even go back to the past calls that we did, like last week we did the core rank, achieving your core rank, and then I actually put the PowerPoint there that we use. So a lot of information will be there. So folks, we're just going a few minutes later this evening because this is important. The last topic, Tammy, we'll touch on quickly is your approach and exactly what you share in moving forward. Go ahead, Tammy.
All right, now I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this. So now you know what we're going to do in the whole month. If you engage in the process, you will create momentum in your business. I want to know who's engaged. Put thumbs up if you're serious and you want to do this in the month of March. I'm just curious. After everything that you've heard, I'm just curious who's serious.
Let's put the gallery here. There we go. Oh, look at all the nice yellow thumbs.
Alrighty, love it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Okay, so the 8th is the official live VOM, virtual opportunity meeting. And the whole week, you're going to work, and contact as many people as you can, and as often as you can, get somebody to watch a video, okay? Build a relationship, share your story. They will become emotionally attached to, and at least curious enough to what you're up to and how this opportunity has transformed your life. And if you're brand new and you haven't had a huge transformation, just be transparent. You found something, you've been looking for something for a long time, and here it is, and here's what I'm getting so far with the product. And if you're open enough and curious enough, I'd love to send you a link. That's it, okay? So you're gonna send them the maxlook.info. Don't talk after that. Okay, I think a lot of people talk themselves out of their own opportunity. They really do. You give too much information, people are gone. They're gonna start asking you questions. You can't handle the questions. So don't even go there. Just get them curious enough to watch a video. Bang, okay? They go to maxlook.info. The moment you send them the link, here's what I do. I text it to them or email based on what they're asking me, and I ask them to do me a favor and let me know they receive the information. Because often people don't ask them that question. You get back to them, they haven't even looked at anything because they didn't even find it. Okay, they didn't get it. So you're saving all that time in the process. Okay, so make sure they send you a thumbs up, whatever, I got it. And the time that they're going to look at it. That's critical. When are they going to have a look at it? Because you want to introduce somebody to them and create that relativity with them and the prospect that you're going to use. So have an idea of who you're going to use for that third party. And then you book the time with them, and then you make sure when you do the call, you have your the person who's a third party validation on with you before you link your prospect into the call. And the reason why, if you link the prospect in first and they go and shut you down immediately, you don't have a chance. If you have your sponsor or leader or somebody who's on with you right away, the moment you link them up and just say, hey John, it's Tammy, by the way, I have Chris on the line with me. Right away do that. Because often they can go in and say something that they wanted privately said to you, and you go, you let them talk and talk and talk, and then you go, oh, by the way, I have Chris on with me. And you might make some uncomfortable feeling with that person. Okay, so just, be precise when you're doing all of this. I love what Lucie does. She's so organized. I've learned a ton from her. This trio stuff, now when I have something I need to give to somebody, I go back in these trio groups that Lucie's helped me organize to create. Okay, so you're gonna get the time booked after they watch when you know they're gonna watch the video. Get the time booked. Book your three-way presentation. And then you do the dial with the sponsor first, with your prospect. If you do that all week, you may be able to sign up brand new associates that you can engage right away in this momentum that we're going to create. So don't wait till the 8th to make those phone calls just because the VOM is on the 8th. I dare you to get at least 5 to 10 people watching a video and get 2 signed up before the 8th. Who's in? Who wants to take on the challenge? I dare you. I dare you. Awesome. So start now. Don't wait. That's my thing, Chris.
Awesome. Now, what I'm going to do here, folks, is I'm just going to go ahead and share the, and we'll finish on this note here. I think that should, you know what? I'll go right into the email. Yeah, I think that should be fine. I'll go right into the email. Can you guys give me the thumbs up that you're seeing this? You're seeing my email? You are? Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if I can turn this. No, okay. So this is the email that everyone has received from Max. And I know that we've seen this before, but it's really $50 for 500. So I'm just summarizing it because I really do want to respect your time here. Okay, and the fact is also there's a prize for being part of the 500 club. So what's going on here, which is very, very simple, and let me find the most, here we go.
And this
Okay,
is extended
so-
because they had this up until February and they wanted to keep it going till May.
So accrue 5 new enrollment in CV. Do you remember the prime one? Just do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the fact here is you're going to get your share plus the $50. Okay, and you can do this twice. Okay, within the same month, and this takes from March 1st to May 31st. Okay, don't think that, oh, there's no way I can do this. Don't do that. Don't set yourself short or sell yourself short. I'm telling you, it's amazing how you can get into momentum with presentation that's occurring every single day as of March 8th. I'm telling you, focused on that. And at the end of the day, as you're doing this, you're going to start creating some prime ones. And if your team duplicate that, they're going to create prime ones. And this is how you're going to accelerate your business. And over and above the income they will earn from the fast start income, from the prime one, maybe even prime two, then you'll have the other $50 that will be added on every time there's a new 500 CV that happens in your organization. And I'm skipping a few things because I know you can go to the blog and read all of this. And then there's the 500 Club. Right? So all the bonus winners will receive special recognition. And what's happening here is that the top earners, which is up to 3,000, so once the actual contest or promotion is done, then it will accumulate the amount of 500 points you've brought into your business, and then it will add on more money, right? And this is what it's all about. And the fact here, folks, is, again, there's more details here, and I suggest for you to kind of dig into that. It's really simple. But what's happening, and let me just stop the sharing for a minute here. What's happening that you have to keep in mind is that you are setting an environment for you and the people you talk to thrive. And this is what I meant earlier, that we need to take an offensive approach to our business, right? We got to stop playing defensive and justifying. We got to be offensive. And I hope that comes across in English well, yeah? So what important here is start sharing. And the one thing that I realize is that you may start and nothing happens. Nobody's interested. You're doing the right thing. It's absolutely normal. But if you stay the course, eventually you will come across people that will share an interest. I'll give you an example. I just want to share one more thing here based on, you can probably see this gentleman here. This person over here came into Max 6 years ago. And I think he actually stopped for about almost a year.
He did.
Okay? And he kind of disappeared. And we stayed in touch. This is the importance of staying in touch with your downline. And we started talking. About a month ago, we started chatting again. He was explaining to me how motivated he was. And long story short, last month, he just made his diamond. I made sure I went to my back office this morning to confirm before because whenever I promote, the whole world sees, and I want to make sure I don't make mistakes. So it is, the back office does say that he reached his diamond level. Right? And that was back in the end of February, and obviously March is a new month. So this is the thing, and this is an example that's important for you to understand, is you need and you want to stay the course. Don't get discouraged by the environment and by the obvious. I'm telling you, it's amazing how sometimes things seems like all is lost, and at the end of the day, you're just around the corner. And the people who stays the course, who keep doing the activities, focusing on the money-making activities, and understand that in the process, there will be customers. There will be people that just want to hear about that's totally cool. But like Paul stated, never make a judgment call for your associate or your prospect. Let them know that the company will actually compensate you and actually can help you pay for your products. Right? These are magic words for people, especially if you happen to be Canadian and you have to pay in Canadian dollars. It's nice to be receiving US dollars that will compensate for part of your cost of your product to a point where it becomes free, manner of speaking, in exchange with your workers of your commission. And then, of course, then you grow your profits. Okay, so this is what we wanted to share here this evening. And Tammy, is there anything else you want to add to this?
I just want to say thank you, Paul and Lucie and Jasmine, for your fabulous training sessions with everybody. I'm excited. I love new months. I love new beginnings. I love a challenge. So let's do this together. Let's take it to another level. Let's create some momentum in our North American market, in the Oceania markets as well, that are involved in this, and never wait for the last month. Always just initiate and ignite at the beginning. It's always good to ignite at the beginning. Okay, so have a fabulous week, everybody. We're available to do three-way calls, so let us know.
So have a great night, everybody. And as you sign off, just feel free to share a little goodbye. You can unmute yourself. We'll just stay to the end. Sometimes I realize I cut off by mistake. So have a good night, everybody.
So Chris and
good
Tammy,
morning,
thanks
everybody.
for dynamism and your clarity. Same thing for Paul, Jasmine, and Lucie.
Thank
Thank you, Jean-Paul.
JP.
Jean-Pierre, that was fantastic.
Merci beaucoup.
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
No,
Bye,
thanks.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks,
Good morning and goodbye, everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night,
morning.
everyone. Good to see everyone.
Bye, Sylvie. Take care. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night.
Dr. Melinda.
Good night, Paul.
Good night, everybody. Okay, I'm signing off. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.